Okay, good evening, wherever you are, and here is another market wrap up show. I call it a show. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, so today is the 10th of sorry, it's the 9th of March, and I hope everyone's having a good day. Everyone had a good weekend. But yeah, it's times are changing. This is a very, very different time of the year. The market, the macros, really, if you have been trading for a while now, I think with where the market is now, what we see happening in a year or in years now, it's literally happening in one day. I mean, for example, which I'm going to be sharing actually. So normally I share the cues, but let me just first let me just share my screen, don't I? But yeah, so as I was saying, times are changing a lot. It's a new world order. I've got to say I'm grateful to witness this, which is very important. But let's just see if I can share my screen. But first and foremost, I think is the let's see. I wanted to share the performance as well. So let's have a look. Uh, There you go. So you can see the cues. So it's quite interesting because, as I was saying, over the while, I've been talking about, oh, the cues is not doing anything. It's been stagnant for months. But of yes, which it has been. I mean, if you look at my rectangle bar there, so all this drama we had, but guess what? The cues has been stagnant, and that's it. It's still right there. And if you look at the present or the first day, what do you notice? It's oops, sorry. There you go. Where's the marker? Yeah, there you go. If you look at the first day since the queues, start to kind of maintain its state. You might say it's November, but if you actually zone in properly, it's about end of October. So since the end of October, the queues haven't actually done much. It's just been there. But if you look properly, people say if you zoom in, it's going to make more sense. And as you can see, it kind of looks like it's coming down, but that's not exactly what I'm saying. It's a bit like I'm drawing a Davax box in here. And as you can see, the market hasn't really gone anywhere. And that's where it is. So all the fears, all that that we had is literally taking place in this little range. And let's just see if we can find that range. There you go. So you can see the range is about oh, 10%. Okay. That's a lot better, but I don't think it was. Let's look at the top of the bar to the bottom of the bar. There you go. That's what we should be looking at. Yeah, there you go. So the Q's have been playing for playing about 7% yeah, there you go, since October last year. And it's just been in that range and it's just stuck in that range. So, if you think the Q's are going anywhere, know that I see personally anyway. So we don't want to get carried away. But there's something that happened. I mean, look at that. Over the last 5 years, we have had that's just perfect, isn't it? The Qs is just giving us a perfect 100%, which kind of correlates with what people say, which is, you get the odd 10, 15% annually. Okay, fine. But but we shall see. But at the same time, you get the odd 5, 10% correction annually as well. But let's look at what happened today. We know, well, except we've been living under a rock. There's been a war, we've got Israel, Iran. Should I literally call it the entire Middle East? Restlessness which is going on there. And, we had Israel, we had Iran, we had America, United States of America, and this been going on. And look at that. Oil did it just did an intensive number, literally. It went from 116 all the way back down here to where there you go. I think it kind of touched 80, but it's pushed up to 86 now, as you can see live. That is a 25% reversal, almost a 30% reversal. I've never seen this in the history books. I think this is just one for the history, I've got to say. So, okay, what did I do? shorted it. I mean, I shorted it at 100-ish, for $15 price. Now, what is the takeaway here? It's not about how good I am, or, I'm not here to tell you I'm good or anything. The most important thing is ignore the narration or the narratives. The minute the stories start getting hot, you got to start thinking, okay, I'm not a trader. What's in it for me? How can I come in here? And I just realized, we've got a capitulation upside. It's got to be just about right. And, pitch perfect without giving it too much away. And that was it. It was an amazing play, really. I've closed it now recently, tonight, just about an hour ago before I pressed record on this. Now, that's one thing. Now, when this reversed, because we had like I keep saying, the global world order has changed. The global order has changed. President Trump said he believes the victory is. I'm not quoting what he said, but he just believes that America's almost won the war. Um, doesn't look like Israel was interested in fighting anymore. They thought it was going to take too long. They probably want to change tack. Look, I'm not a military veteran or expert here. I don't know. I just follow what I see here. So, and as a result of that, we had a made a huge reversal. The the US 30 also, which is the Dow. We know the president loves the Dow. The Dow was about 900 points lower, but guess what happened? Took it all back. Reversal. Literally, it was at 46,300. Everyone and their mothers were clamoring and fighting for 50,000, 50,000. People designed their hats, t-shirt. I'm talking about great, great traders. Everyone expected that 50,000. I think it went 50,000, but then they expected a rebound of 50,000. Well, the candle didn't close at 50,000. So what happened? We reversed. And that's what happened today. So one thing I've got to say, my takeaway here is, I don't like a perfectly green market. When it's all green and it's constantly green. It's suspicious to me. Well, I like it from the downside if I want to play this downside, but it's suspicious to me. And that's what I saw. It was just constantly, I think it was constantly red, as we saw yesterday, or with oil, it was constantly green. And therefore, we had a rebound, collapse today. But I think a lot of people start thinking, oh yeah, we're back on fire. But you got to understand the market had been weak before Iran started, before Israel, Iran started the missile between each other. If again, let's go back to the queues. What do you notice about the queues? Look, the missile started flying before Iran, so you got to understand it's not just about Iran here, it's a lot more than Iran. So I mean, I don't want to take away the box because I think the box is actually just good for reference. So let's do it on a 3 day so it can just encapsulate more data. And as you can see right here, if I'm going to make it a lot closer, well, there you go. If I'm going to make it a lot tighter, what do you notice? And let's put in the trend line there. So you can see it's been very weak. They just couldn't break that level. Okay, again, if I'm going to take that away, let's just use my marker. One thing I noticed was that we went up, down, up again. We couldn't break that high. And now it started coming down, up again. So, I mean, are we trying for another push? I don't know. All I can say is we couldn't break 636 on the queues. So therefore, it's not time to start celebrating. As much as I keep saying, we are still very much in this box, Davos box. But anyway, so that's something I'm going to say. Don't get carried away. Now, like I said, oil played for me. Also, if you look at VIX, VIX was telling us a lot. And this is something about VIX. Again, if the VIX is constantly green, it doesn't work for me personally. I think, you want to retrace and mash up back again. I mean, but look at the VIX year to date. VIX is doing a lot better than so many assets out there. And that's supposed to tell you something. But there's so many things wrong with this data. You might say, well, year to date, because the data is a spread over 3 months. I think so, because 1 week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, so and over the last 12 months. So there has been, uncertainty in this market. There's elements of worry. You don't want to sleep with both eyes closed when it comes to this market. You want to monitor with one eye. Now, VIX here, do you think VIX is done? Personally, I don't think so. I think things don't move in a straight line. They're gonna, crawl back a little bit first, recalibrate, energize, and then move, push, shove, wait, push again. So that's something I'm saying about VIX. So I don't think it's done. And so I'm going to keep watching that. Then again, before we do that, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin last week reclaimed because Bitcoin has been suppressed for a while now. And, he was able to push 73 last week. But look at that. It's just been suppressed again back to 68,500, 68, 67. And that's what it's been doing. I don't even know if it was yet today, 69 and a half. But again, it's back down. I think one of the most key important thing is look at the dollar as well. The dollar climbed to 99 last week, and I have put my trend line on the dollar right there. Okay, so the dollar has actually been trending back up. People are putting money away into safe haven. And if people are putting money away into safe haven, who are you to think you're just going to keep buying the dip? Look, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I can see. So now you see, we could get the dollar again right now. What's it doing? It's consolidating, consolidating. So if the dollar is consolidating, we don't know what directions it might go next. It might go down, it might go up, because some people do not believe in technical analysis, but I'm going to say something, two things. So, you can see lows get lower and lower. Okay, that's fine. That's a good news. But at the same time, can we see how this high is going to get? That's one. And number two, if you look at all the data we've been getting from job reports, which has been coming in weak, I mean, this war now probably going to add a bit of a pressure to inflation, which they've been battling to fight for many years since 2022. So, overall, what was I going to say here is that, or what I'm going to say is that, because I don't want to just unleash too many tickers. If you are placing your trade, protect the downside. Make sure you got the stop loss, or make sure you got the puts in here. That's all I'm going to say. It's not financial advice, but it's up to you how you play. But until then, guys, I think we're going to see again tomorrow. Well, we're going to see tomorrow again. God bless you on the field and have a great night. Bye bye.